CD won't you won't see a performance like that from CD Lamb again, in all likelihood. You fumble in the red zone, you drop a couple dots that would extend drives and likely lead to at least another 3 points. That's the difference. You can't give the champs second and third chances like that because they'll close. And that's what happened. But there's no way there's no way that anybody can sit here and tell me that what they just witnessed, the things that they just saw on national television, just about every aspect of that football game, physicality, chippiness, competition, is not a drastic difference from what we've been used to watching this football team play, especially in a moment like that. In an arena like that, a prime time 8.5-point spread, nobody's giving you a shot opportunity like that. One of my lifelong friends was over here. He's probably listening right now. My guy Chris in the car, probably still on his way home as we speak. We took a stroll through the neighborhood on the golf cart, just passing time during the lightning delay. And my passion was just overflowing. I was leaking. And we're going to get to the Jalen Hurts, Superman, by the way. It's a bird, it's a plane. Nah, it's just Jalen Hurts out rushing Saquon Barkley tonight. That's the type of superhuman, Superman effort that it took. And that's why, before we continue the discussion on Jalen Carter and Dak Prescott and then just sort of break down the game, and I'm going to get out of here because I'm not naive. I know the Titans that I'm up against with the post-game show that are all collaborating together. The Avengers are assembling probably as we speak. So I'm no fool. I can read a room. I'm gonna get up out of here pretty quickly, but I'd be remiss if I didn't address a couple things that I'm clearly very passionate about. The first thing, Jalen Carter, Dak Prescott, the thumbnail that you witnessed. Dak did instigate the spit session. But there's a very clear difference. Surely we're all mature enough adults and individuals here and football fans, albeit passionate, to understand and decipher between, or decipher the discrepancy between spitting on the ground when somebody is clearly across the line in the sand. You mark your territory, you hike your leg, and you take a leak real quick. Hyperbole. But you hike your leg and take a leak. In other words, you spit, say, hey, careful. This is our territory right now. Don't get any closer here. That's enough. Right? Jalen Carter spit in the face and onto the chest of Dak. There's a very clear difference. Right? Maris Leofau got his helmet ripped off. He ripped another guy's helmet off. He gets the flag thrown. It's the retaliation that usually gets caught. But in this case, the retaliation is what got caught, but also the retaliation was 2x, 3x, 4x. Is there anything more disrespectful outside of maybe hiking your leg and peeing on somebody than spitting on them? That's assault, is it not? And that's competition. That's heat of the moment. I've been there. We all do dumb things. We say dumb things. We have these moments where adrenaline takes over, man, pride, passion, and just the love of the game. It happens, right? Jalen Carter, I'm not going to speak to his character. That doesn't define who he is. That was a stupid decision. But it's competition, man. There's passion out there. You want to see that. I want to see guys fighting. I want to see guys ripping each other's helmets off. And I want to see Dak, we'll end it with this. The cool customer that he is. Bad boy. You guy hawks a loogie in his chest. One of the most feared defensive linemen or interior defensive linemen in the sport spits in your chest, but you're so composed, you're so confident, you're so collected, you're so cool that all you can muster up in retaliation in that moment, when Dak may have instigated it, Jalen crossed the line, he took it 3 steps further, but Dak just hit him with one of these. Hey, ref, see that? Little light-skinned smirk. Like, saw that, right? Boom. 15. Ejected. Go spit on the locker room floor, Jalen. There's a difference. All right, but the passion that was oozing out of my ears, and Chris got it firsthand. And maybe more than he bargained for when he came over just to watch the game with me. But I appreciated that moment because it just, him asking questions, thought-provoking questions that got me thinking. Brian Schottenheimer, everything that I wrote about, spent so much time studying deeply, intently, reporting, conveying, talking about, editing, writing, just you name it, man. All these different signs. Farmer walking in with handfuls of Whataburger bags, buying everybody in the facility lunch. And when I say in the facility, I don't mean the coaches and the players, scouting department, front office. I'm talking about everybody at the Star in Frisco who sits behind a desk in a cubicle that's working in finance, marketing, sales, in the pro shop. Schottenheimer hand delivering one by one. Here's some Whataburger. Here's lunch today on me. Shaking their hand. Nice to meet you. I appreciate you. I see you. You're valued here. Relationships matter here. Changing the culture. That's what matters here. When we talk about the first article I wrote about Brian Schottenheimer, when he says how half my day is spent, that was the title of the article on athlonsports.com, Cowboys Country. Mike Fisher gave me an opportunity to have my voice heard and spoken to a different audience, an entirely new demographic of sports media consumers who still read their news. How half my day is spent, Shotty. Not talking football, not scouting, not coaching, being a friend, a humanitarian, a person who cares deeply about the person behind the player, not just a jersey number or a contract or a role on the roster. Having a bottle sent to Oso Odighizuwa's family table at the dinner when they went to go celebrate his contract extension. Said, hey, man, just wanted to say congratulations. Wrote that on a bottle of wine or champagne, whatever it was, to celebrate. Just letting Osa knew how much he cared. He had it hand delivered to Osa's table, wherever they were eating dinner at. I don't remember the name of the establishment. Him and his family. Shotty impacted them that night. Oso Odighizuwa himself he mentioned the first person to speak to him the moment the news was dropped. Not his dad, not his mom, not his brother, not his best friends, not his teammates. Who was it? Brian Schottenheimer. Hey, man, couldn't be happier for you. Couldn't be more proud to have you as one of the leaders on this football team. Couldn't wait to congratulate you on a well-deserved contract extension, life-changing money, generational type money for you and your family, life-changing. I see you. I appreciate you. I'm here for you. I got you. There are countless other examples I'm not going to bore you guys with because I do want to talk about some of the things that we just witnessed tonight because we actually finally have evidence. It's not just, we ain't just talking anymore. We're not speculating. We're not projecting. We're not guessing. We saw it. And I know that y'all feel it. I know you do. Brian Schottenheimer's culture of competition and physicality is real. There was a different level of effort that I just saw on that football field tonight. It's going to sound like a moral victory, maybe. I get it. People going to make fun of me for saying that and taking pride in that. Right, but guess what? As we always say here, sports psychology, I'm Lando from the Lando Show, by the way. Sports below the surface. There's always more lessons in the losses. Always. And you'll get the best version of CeeDee Lamb 10 days from now. You'll get the best version of Tyler Booker recognizing and picking up stunts and blitzes 10 days from now and well into the future. Did y'all see that look in Tyler Guyton's eye when Dak went shoulder to shoulder, man to man, after the first and second touchdown drives? All day. That's what he said. The first words that I saw Dak say on the sideline after the first touchdown. But after the second one, T. Steele, good stuff, bro. TB, Rook, good stuff, bro. Cooper Beebe, good stuff, bro. I see you. Keep it going all damn day. Tyler Smith, I see you, brother. Let's go. Keep going. All pro. Me and you. Last person he gets to. The guy that everybody was ready to write off. After 5 years of playing the sport, 1 year of playing the left tackle position full time. Can't do it. Got nothing. Tyler Guyton, happy to be here. Just happy to participate. Put the star on his helmet, get paid, and just try to go play. Happy to be here, man. He said it. But we broke it down 3 months ago. The first time he was interviewed, media availability, player availability, dripping sweat, got his workout hoodie on, literally the hood still over his head. Because clearly, as we just witnessed, that's all he did this offseason was work. Same was true in that interview. But when pressed with very difficult questions, when all of Cowboys Nation was ready to write him off, and when I say all, I mean about 70 to 80% of the fan base. Prematurely so. The conviction, let me pull this play up while I say this because it's that important to me. The conviction in his eye when Dak gets to Tyler Guyton, and you just see that look. The same look that I wrote about 3 months ago. Actually, let's verify. May 29th, 2025. 438,000 views now. I guess that's as a result maybe of, I don't know if that's as a result of the clip. But I'm watching it. I'm watching the look in his eye, the conviction, the zero hesitation, and the not breaking eye contact when met with very difficult questions, answering them objectively and honestly, but with that tone, that athlete chip on his shoulder that I have felt many, many times before. Something to prove, and you can just tell. I said in my head, and I'll read this here to you guys too, for those of you who are driving or listening or whatever. And thank y'all for tapping in with me. Make sure that y'all hitting the like button for me to continue growing this platform. I appreciate y'all. The support lately has been incredible, and it's only going to continue to get better. There is no me without you. So just please know that, right? the like button and the subscribe button. Totally free, but worth every penny. Tyler Guyton became a pro this offseason. I think Brian Schottenheimer contributed to a lot of that. People took the O-line mastermind, Duke Manyweather himself, his words out of context, speculating that, hey, he's no longer working with Duke. Duke must have kicked him to the curb because he just don't love football that much. He don't want it. He don't want it enough. And I said, here's just, devil's advocate approach here. What if a different teacher, a different coach, a different opinion, a different voice just happens to relate to him a little bit better? Overhaul. Clayton Adams and Connor Riley. There are two new voices, guys with plenty of pedigree. There's two offensive line coaches on this staff now, not to mention the third that Tyler Guyton mentioned himself. I forget his name. Chinyan, something like that. But there's three voices, three people round the clock helping TG become that pro that we talked about. Right, but I saw that look in his eye, and that's what I wrote. I wrote about it. I said, I can tell. You can't fake that. You don't fake the funk. You can't trick me into believing that you're taking yourself as seriously as you're talking. I can see it in your eyes. I can read people. That's one of my superpowers on this planet, I feel like. My perspective just as a former athlete with the sports psychology, but also the ability to read people. I have a knack for that. Like, that's just one of the things that I'm good at. One of the very few. I mean, I know sports and I have a knack for reading people. I guess that's probably that's what I was put on this earth to do. Tyler Guyton speaks with a much different level of focus, maturity, and conviction. His it, per my last post, is taking care of his body, which according to him starts with completely changing his diet. No more fried and fast foods, lots of steaks, salmon, and vegetables. Playing professional football is much different than being a professional. Playing professional football, happy to be there, is much different than being a pro. It takes time to learn. And then I reemphasize, once again, I didn't learn it until I was almost 27 years old. That's why I'm so passionate about it. Because when I finally started to figure it all out and put it all together and have a lot of success and feel confident every time the coach put the ball in my hand, it was about too late. And then kids come into the picture and life looks a lot different. And your passions and your purpose on this planet change. But my experience in professional sports has given me the ability to convey the truth, the sports below the surface truth, the human element of sport to passionate fans like the Cowboys and the Texas Longhorns fans that deserve to hear it, that need to hear it. And then, of course, to expand the kingdom of heaven in the process, do the best that I can to just work on me as well. But betting against Tyler Guyton, after just one season, knowing what we know about his career journey, where he came from, full-time basketball player until about 6 years ago. Hey, maybe you should try tight end. Hey, maybe you should try D-line. Hey, maybe you should play right tackle for Dylan Gabriel. Oh, hey, now you're a first-round draft pick. Hey, maybe you should protect Dak Prescott's blind side and also just fill the shoes of a first-ballot Hall of Famer, Ring of Honor member Tyron Smith. Let's kick him to the curb prematurely. Oh, but then let's watch and see what he does on primetime national television, the kickoff of the NFL season against the defending Super Bowl champs. This right here.
Tyler Booker right here was going to be able to hold up against Jalen Carter. Well, guess what? That really never happened.
You'll see him regain his balance, drop those hips, anchor in, and say, nope, you're done, son. One arm, and then bam, left hook. Could that be a hands to the face penalty? Sure, but that's a technique. I'm sure Vach is going to talk about it. I said somewhere Vach Lombardi right now is stomping the yard out in somebody's studio. Because I know he saw that play. I know he did. And he'll talk about the technique, I'm sure. But you know how I know that we as in, and I'm not patting myself on the back here. I'm just saying I understand the sports psychology. I knew what he was up against. So I was willing to give him more time. But look, 633,000 people since 7:54 p.m. tonight saw this. You know why? Because that microscope on the Cowboys in general is so massive. Even people who don't care because when the Cowboys suck, they like it that much more. Failure is what resonates with the masses, right? People expected Tyler Guyton to fail. But look, 633,000 people so far on Twitter and counting were like, damn, this dude's a little different than he was last year. Interesting. How about the effort for Maris Leafau? I'm just going to start rattling off thoughts because I've kind of Dak Prescott, by the way. Let me start there. This dummy that you're looking at right now on your screen, me, thought it would be a good idea to question a 10-year pro, an MVP runner-up, a Walter Payton Man of the Year caliber player on his mom's would-be 64th birthday who passed of cancer. His brother who passed on his own terms. His own walk with mental health as a result of both of those things. And then handling all that, becoming a husband and a two-time father, soon to be husband, actually. I don't know if they tied them out officially. I know they're engaged, or they were. And playing quarterback, the most difficult position to play in all of sports for the most polarizing franchise and most recognizable brand in the world. 10 months since he's played any meaningful snaps of football. I had my questions. I devoted an entire project titled Rust and Rehab. How much rust would there be without any sort of preseason activity? For 4, the most difficult position in all of sports, against the defending Super Bowl champs, with 10 months off. Patrick Mahomes is playing in the preseason. Joe Burrow is playing in the preseason. Josh Allen's playing in the preseason. Dak didn't. I questioned it. Somebody brought it to my attention, and I mentioned it in the last video, in that project specifically. Snaps his leg in half, and then a few months later, however many months it was, I think it was also October to September. So relatively the same time frame. Week 5, whenever that was. So it must have been just before October, or the first week of October in 2020 when he broke his leg against the Giants, right? Comes back against the Bucs the following season and, slinging the ball all over the yard. That gave me pause, or rest, I should say, as far as the breakdown, determining the outcome for this game. But man, he showed elusiveness, throwing the ball on the run, shaking off 2 would-be tacklers in the pocket, delivering to his left. Okay. I mean, should have been a touchdown to Jake Ferguson, right? Should have had at least, let's just say, 3 balls that could or should have been caught. That would have went for at least 60 more yards and a touchdown. That would have, at the very least, probably sent this game into overtime. Because if we're being honest, like the Eagles, if they're not trying to just, if they're not trying to milk clock, they have a chance with Jake Elliott, probably the second best kicker in the sport, to extend regulation, send the game into overtime. Right? Things happen. Miles Sanders, former Philadelphia Eagle, fumbles in the red zone. Can't do that against the best team in the sport. Can't do it. But you know what? The number one key to this game was, for me, and the number one, it's 2 things, okay? The number one key to this game, but it's been the ultimate shortcoming of this Cowboys franchise, the defensive tackle position. Here's all you need to know. If you're at all concerned about the run defense, which I will still sit here and tell you, by the way, go get another defensive tackle. Just overload that position. Kenny Clark, a freaking revelation, man. Dog on the defensive interior alongside Osa. Solomon Thomas, I seen looking spry, flying behind the line of scrimmage. I think he had a TFL. He alongside somebody else. At the very least, it was a stop. Saquon Barkley was met at the line of scrimmage, and he did not continue going forward. I'll tell you that. Guys flying all over the football field, man. At every level. Saquon Barkley catches a check down to the flat, to the boundary. Kenneth Murray takes a great angle, puts a pretty decent lick, gets hands on Saquon. Saquon, just being the superhuman stud that he is, sheds the tackler. And then what do you see? You see 3 more white jerseys screaming downhill at Saquon. And Dono just putting the bow on top, laying the lick one more time. How about the motion? The misdirection. Fullback power. To put Javonte Williams into the end zone behind Hunter Lipke on that first touchdown drive. Y'all saw that, right? We saw that. All these things that we've been discussing, that Shotty has been reiterating, it's the easy buttons in the sport of the modern era of football. The things that you do to give yourself leverage advantages against the defense and that make you less predictable, giving the defense much less of a tell when you're otherwise in recent history for the Cowboys lining up in the gun and eliminating half of the field essentially if you're any threat to run the football. Linebackers are smart at this level, man. They know tendencies and they're picking up keys in real time. I saw zone read elements built in to that offensive structure, that opening script. Kevontae Turpin exit motion immediately. That's Shotty saying, hey, he's got full mastery of the playbook now. We can actually weaponize him on offense. Exit motion, knows that when Dak does that, he senses the nickel pressure, throwing right behind it where the pressure's coming from. Hey, whoever that corner was, I forget who it was. It was either Quinyon Mitchell or Adoree Jackson. But Kevontae Turpin knows that signal, that's them being on the same page. That's reps. That's the Dak yard, if you will. Going on group team vacations. Over and over again, repetition. Culture of competition. Hey, you're running a stop route. Run him off. You're faster. You're quicker in and out of your break than he is. I'm gonna get rid of this ball. I'm gonna put it on your back shoulder before you even turn around and come out of your break. Make a man miss and he gets yards after the catch. It's like a 7 or 8 yard gain. Kevontae Turpin, exit motion, stop route. Dak hits him. It's a timing route. And it's an on-the-fly adjustment for a first down to keep the chains moving. We didn't even really see George Pickens tonight. That'll come too. When teams aren't, and even without, by the way, Jalen Carter, the Eagles are still a very stout run defense. Zach Bond is the Josh Allen of defense. Dude was the defensive player of the year. A guy off the street on a 1-year vet minimum deal is one of the best defensive players in the sport. That guy still exists over there. Moro Ojimo, we've been here. The Eagles fans have been talking about all offseason. The guy's like, hey, maybe not as big of a significant drop-off from Milton Williams as we may have otherwise expected. As your third D tackle, your interior defensive line presence. Moro Ojimo is picking it up, man. We still got Jordan Davis over there, who's in the best shape of his life, lost 20 pounds this offseason. But guess what? The thing that I posted today, we watched this play out. And this also aged well, like a fine wine. Watch this. This was fun, man. Let me get to it here. Somebody asked me if I could do a Javonte Williams
Dude said,
hype. And so I said, sure. So this will give you some context right here. Pull this up. Here we go.
What's up with a Javonte Williams video? So here we go. Javonte Williams is actually a perfect pairing with a power offensive line interior. All right, but here's the thing with Javonte Williams is the name that you should be speaking much more frequently about. The name that everybody should be focusing on in the running game is Clayton Adams. Not Javonte Williams, not Jadon Blue, not Phil Maffa, not Hunter Lipke, not Miles Sanders, Clayton Adams, Connor Riley even, if you will. But with that being said, Javonte Williams, I think he gets credit for that people are judging off of his, once again, recency bias comes into play here, his most recent history where he wasn't 100% of himself as a result of a devastating knee injury. He says that he's back to that 100% version of himself. And that 100% version of himself punishes people with power and pad level. Once again, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, and Tyler Booker. Left, center, right. Punish people with power. It's a perfect pairing. It's a new and completely revamped rushing attack. Javonte Williams, from a fantasy perspective too, might as well just go ahead and throw this in there. Might trip and fall in the end zone 12 times in an offense that is almost guaranteed, health permitting, to be top 5 in the National Football League yet again. Hope that helps. But yeah, that's Javonte Williams for you. Can't wait to see him potentially punish an Eagle tonight. Be fun.
Boom. And he did, just running tough, man. Let me check the chat out. That's my fault. I went on a riff there. See what you guys are talking about. Need to take a breath before I go and tap into what Vach and them is talking about. Bex is in here. My guy Chris, it looks like he probably made it home safe if he's typing, I'm assuming. Only about a 10-minute drive. So I think I touched on Kenny Clark. What's Chris saying? Let me find that. Where is it? It's Chris. He says, right, okay, yeah. Passion is contagious, and it's a beautiful thing. So it's just cool to see. It's not just lip service, man. It wasn't just talk. It was real, and I had a really good feeling. That's why I kept tapping into it, leaning into it more and more. That's why I went live last night, or not live. I recorded a video at like midnight almost, and I was just blown away. I got done working here in the studio. I'm getting ready to go to sleep, and somebody's texting me talking about the 8.5 point spread. The line just jumps another 1.5 points. I'm like, what is this yearbook, recency bias, overreaction stuff? Like, dude, people forget this is. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and bore y'all with all the semantics, right? Because it's going to come off homerish and Kool-Aid-ish, but I'm just trying to be objective about everything, man. Listen, the Eagles had question marks in their own right. You're basing the spread. The public was reacting and betting on this game based on what they saw last year. But the reality is that neither of these two teams, the Cowboys, while they still had plenty of questions, sure, absolutely they did. They still do. But the Eagles did too, man. 4,000 snaps to replace on defense from a year ago. Brand new offensive coordinator for the 5th time in Jalen Hurts' career. Clearly that doesn't matter, but still, talking point, right? Worth noting. Health of the left guard, massive question, much like the Cowboys. And that manifested. He had to leave the game today. Landon Dickerson, that is. They had a first-time starter, right guard. Just like the Cowboys did. Tyler Steen and Tyler Booker. Imagine that. Question marks. Who's quarterback 2 for the Eagles? Do they even have one? If you can't name a starter, you sure as shit got, you sure as heck got questions. You as in Vic Fangio. Dory Jackson and Keely Ringo kind of rotate. They're trying to figure some stuff out. Reed Blankenship, Andrew Makuba, Sidney Brown, Okay. Another thing too, listen, Cowboys ain't the only team in that game tonight, Thursday night football, primetime, kick off the NFL season that lost or were trying to replace a $100+ million man on the defensive line. The Eagles did too. Milton Williams, gone. New England Patriots. Okay. I was using objectivity for a Vic Fangio defense to really be the best and fullest version of itself, disguising coverages, disguising blitzes, timely blitzes. That requires communication, synchronicity, and trust in the secondary, of course, but also at every level. The Eagles defensively will be a much different team 6, 8, 12 weeks from now than they were tonight. Same with the Cowboys. But the best in the world at what they do, the champs, Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles with a 2,000-yard rusher. The quarterback just ran for more yards than he did. On the back of Kenny Clark, on the back of Osa Odigizua, on the back of Solomon Thomas, on the back of the linebackers. Once again, I teased, I said, I cannot wait to see in a slant and penetrate and attack front like this Cowboys defensive line is now under Aaron Whitecott and Matt Eberflus. That's their philosophy. As a linebacker in that system, Jack Sanborn, Kenneth Murray Jr., soon to be DeMarvin Overshown, okay, Damone Clark, Shamar James at some point, inactive tonight, but at some point. Your responsibility is to diagnose, trigger, and get your butt downhill with tenacity, brother. Fast. Hair on fire mentality. Maris Leofau sprinting down on teams and lighting somebody up mentality. Sam Williams sprinting to the sideline multiple different occasions. Going so fast, smacking Jalen Hurts, extending with his arms inbounds in the field of play, perfectly legal. So fast and with so much effort that you think it looks like it's a late hit and a personal foul unsportsmanlike or unnecessary roughness, 15 yards. Laundry. 22 miles per hour, by the way. 260 pounds for what it's worth. We touched on that too. That manifested. Now, let's talk about Matt Eberflus just real quick. He was certainly trying to, that's his MO, right? We knew this. Keep the blanket on. Keep the umbrella on. Make them earn it. Okay? Jalen Hurts wasn't spied. I saw a couple different occasions, even in the end zone, in the red zone, right? We got Malik Hooker back there sort of patrolling, just kind of caught in no man's land, right? Just standing there, really. He might as well have had 10 men on the field. Nothing against Malik Hooker, by the way. It's just good scheme and just Superman being Superman. I hate to keep saying that. Makes me want to throw up. But that's the case. Got to tip your cap, man, and give credit where it's due. Jalen Hurts was a superhuman tonight. He outrushed the 2,000-yard rusher in this game. Cowboys got to feel good, man. But I'm sitting here telling you, as good as they should feel, you ain't going to see any other rushing attack like this one unless the Ravens have a case. That's it, man. That is the pinnacle of the sport right there. At what you are supposed to be weakest at. What we have over and over again reemphasized the importance of, man. This Cowboys team ain't going nowhere. Micah Parsons, it don't matter when he gets paid. It don't matter when he shows up. It don't matter how dominant he is as a rusher. If the Cowboys don't first figure out how to solve the ability to stop the run and get a difference maker like Kenny Clark up in here now, that can first you got to earn the right to allow people like Micah Parsons to do what they do. There's a lot to take away from the effort that this Cowboys defensive front showed. The front seven, their run stop. Donovan Wilson, guy that everybody was ready to cut. Flying downhill. Team captain now. That should tell you something. Damone Clark, guy that I was ready to cut. The first article I wrote for Athlon Sports, cowboyscountry.com. Let's go ahead and save $3.3 million. Let's cut him. Zero dead money. does it cost the Cowboys? Nothing. He walks. He doesn't trust his spine. Let's go get some. Let's go find us a running back. Let's go find us a D tackle. Let's go find us another linebacker who is actually willing to stick his neck and put his head like in there, into the trenches, in the mix, mixing it up. Damone Clark says, "Hey, you. Hey, dummy. You with the hat on in your cute little studio with the microphone and the camera. Why don't you sit down and shut up and let me do my job? I'm going to prove you wrong." And guess what he did? He had a couple of plays of the day in camp. 2 days I was there. Damone Clark flashed. Malik Hooker too, by the way, in Oxnard, California. I'm saying, that's a different player. This guy's different. I'm seeing Perion Winfrey, a guy that was out there on the street, bring an attitude to the field, a demeanor to the field that I have not seen since. Man, I don't even know. Defensively, like just a truly. I'll just reiterate what I said initially. I want the smoke, the gunpowder, the lead. I want your left hook. I want your right hook. I want your jab. I want both uppercuts. I want a flying knee. I'm eating it. I'm chewing it off. I'm spitting it out right back at you, and I'm coming again. Here we go. Saddle up. Perion Winfrey. I watched this man. I stood 5 feet away after day one of padded practice. Fans in a frenzy, trying to get autographs and just going crazy, right? Just being fanatic, which is part of why Oxnard is what it is. It's a cool experience. And I love that for them. That's not me. I'm just observing. I'm just watching. I'm trying to sports below the surface for y'all, okay? And me and Tua both picked it out. She noticed it a week after because she was there the week after I was, but I had talked about it and then she reemphasized it. So I know she's on the field. Her scout's eye, when Tua reemphasizes something that I'm saying, I'm like, okay, I'm on to something here. Perion Winfrey, this dude didn't even so much as unbuckle his chin strap. He had his helmet all the way on, fully laced, visor, and just looking like a stormtrooper, man. Like, I got something to prove. I got a family to feed. I'm not here to post my helmet on Instagram and flex for all my followers. I'm here to revamp and revitalize my career and feed my family. Off the streets, cut from the Browns, signed to the UFL, shows up. There, by the way, we said if there's any roster for Perion Winfrey to make it as a defensive tackle in this league, it's this one. But it wasn't given. I'll tell you that. He earned it. And guess what? He would have been active tonight if he wasn't hurt. And you would have seen exactly what I'm talking about. But that exactly what I'm talking about manifested on both sides of the football. It's contagious. You see Dak walk over there and just, he's like, I'm good. Picking CD up. We got you, man. Miles Sanders, 2 people after he fumbled, I seen walk up to him. I think one of the linemen, I forget which one it was. I'll have to go. It's everything's a blur right now. Y'all know how it is. My head is spinning. I need to do a better job of reading the comments here. You guys will keep me on track. James freaking Houston, man. Hey, there we go. I had a slip up of epic proportions. It was no harm, no foul. Truly, we took care of the situation. He reached back out to me and was like, "Hey, man, you slipped a little bit. I'm not mad at you. I appreciate you. What you're doing for me, but we got to correct this here." I accidentally posted this man's number. I did the work and I edited it out. The project's done. You guys can go watch it. But the situation is rectified. Needless to say, this man, James Houston, also basically off the streets, comes in, just making plays, man, behind the line of scrimmage, just doing what he does. Guy had 8 sacks in one season, and I believe he wasn't called up until week 8. So it was half a season, a UDFA from Jackson State. That's where he started. Or Florida, then Jackson State, I think. Y'all gonna catch me messing. I've slept since then, man, but had some one-on-one time with James Houston, just watching this dude work. I'm like, in Oxnard, once again, this dude's got something. Got a little bit of something. And I think he even he knew he was on the outside looking in at the time. Peyton Turner had an injury that may have helped his case. Micah Parsons got traded. That may have helped his case. But needless to say, this man was one of the most impactful players in the entire offseason. Alongside Kyer Elam, alongside Zion Childress, alongside George Pickens. Those were the guys where we were like, whoa. It's a little different. Perion Winfrey, little different demeanor. James Houston, by the way, in his NFL debut, sacked Josh Allen 2 times. Twice. He belongs in this league. Now, to Matt Eberflus, real quick in closing, and then I'll just kind of go through. We'll try to wrap it up. He made the adjustment at halftime. Both teams clearly did, because we saw the offenses sort of stall out in the second half. And really the answer for both teams was just send one extra man. That was the difference. They didn't really necessarily spy when they should have. Like I mentioned earlier, Malik Hooker kind of got caught in no man's land. But that's a dude that, he's that field that field safety that he was drafted for his rare instincts and just break on the ball, just sort of play in that center field. But he and Eberflus had that relationship dating back to their time in Indianapolis. And I think that matters. I think that's why we saw him flying around in training camp too. He was making a name for himself. You type in Malik Hooker training camp, and you'll see a couple different highlights where he's like very disruptive in run support and in pass coverage, pass D. But the adjustment was made. Fire the nickel. Send one extra man. Got to heat him up, speed him up, and get an athlete in pursuit. And that worked. So it was nice to see the adjustments, but just overall, and like I said, it's so hard to process everything. I'm trying to track personnel rotations. I'm trying to track how they're lining up. I'm trying to track what is the offense doing and trying to dictate here. Like, there's just, that's why to fully understand, you gotta watch the All-22. There's no other way. There's no other way. That's why it exists. You cannot otherwise have an accurate depiction or a full, detailed, and descriptive understanding of the game. You're guessing if you don't. So I can't wait to watch it and find out more. But the pad level, the effort, the chippiness, the physicality. Guys. Javonte Williams. What was his yards per carry tonight? Okay, 15 for 54 and 2 touchdowns. That's a 3.6 yards per carry average. Not good. Way less than I thought. It felt like he was consistently ripping off 4 and 5 yard carries. But you saw on a couple different occasions, right before I believe his second touchdown run, we got behind the chains somehow. And he takes one just right up A gap and just runs through arm tackles left and right. keeping the legs moving. And that happened on multiple occasions. Just getting extra yards after contact. No quit, man. The yards per carry average is inflated by the 140-plus yard touch from Miles Sanders. So don't let the 5.4 yards per carry fool you. It wasn't that dominant of an effort, but it was so clearly different. Still a championship-level defense over there with a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, with a first-round draft pick, Jordan Davis, allegedly in the best shape of his life, with Moro Ojimo, who the Eagles fan base is raving about, with Andrew Makuba, who by most Cowboy pundits in the draft media world would have suggested to you as the number one, clearly the best safety in the class. It's a disciplined bunch. Cooper DeJean, Reed Blankenship, Quinyon Mitchell. The way that they got the football into the hands of their playmakers in a variety of ways, with motion mixed in, Dak under center much more frequently. We'll see some more of that play action game come. All that stuff is going to come. This is still, we got to remember, this is still Tyler Guyton, who had no preseason reps because he got hurt on day one of fully padded practice. This is still a rookie Tyler Booker who's trying to figure it all out. Right? This is still very, very early. We don't know if there's a player or two that Dak would have liked to have back. Maybe he made a check that he wants back. Maybe he slid the protection one direction that he would like to have back. This is Dak getting his feet wet too. I can't wait to go listen to the press conference. Can't wait to go listen to everybody else talk about it. Saquon Barkley ran for fewer yards than Jalen Hurts did tonight. That right there, if nothing else, should tell you everything that you need to know. What else am I missing, guys? DBs played well. They didn't even try to challenge. Now, granted, there weren't many one-on-one opportunities outside until the second half, once Matt Eberflus started having no other choice but to try to do something about Jalen Hurts' scramble ability, his extension of the play, his creation from outside the pocket, right? You got to send pressure, man. Got to. I don't think there's any other way to play them because they're just so good up front. Like the Cowboys are going to create, like, people are sitting here saying, oh boy, we really noticed Micah Parsons wasn't out there tonight. And while that might be true in some instances, maybe he would have been, maybe Micah Parsons out there when he's 100% ready to go, which tonight he wouldn't have been. But just walk with me for a second. Maybe Micah's ability would have been enough to sack Jalen Hurts one more time tonight. But the reality is that we fear Saquon Barkley today at the level that we do. We respect Saquon Barkley today at the level that we do because of the offensive front that he gets the luxury and the pleasure of playing behind. Talked about it yesterday. The difference between Miles Sanders in Philly and Saquon Barkley in Philly is Saquon Barkley takes those 8 to 10 yard runs that Miles Sanders used to have and turns them into 60-yard touchdowns where he hits his head on the goalpost. Miles Sanders got hawked tonight, guys. That's a house call for Saquon. That's the difference, right? He has that extra level of creation. He's a maximizer. Guys like Miles Sanders are productive football players. They're pros. They belong in this league. They are the masses. Saquon Barkley is the exception. Okay? But he's respected at the level that he is today because of who he's playing behind. So my ultimate message here, and I'll have a few more parting thoughts before we bounce, is that I saw enough with the effort, the pad level, the slowing down Saquon Barkley in the running game to feel very, very, very good about anybody else that we're going to match up against moving forward. Like I said, nobody else is going to rival what they just put on display, what the Eagles are capable of, what they're the best in the world at, except for maybe the Ravens. Maybe the Packers, but possibly, but to a lesser degree. I'm not worried about the pass rush either because Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson are that good. And Jalen Hurts, obviously, with the evasion, the awareness, and the ability to make you pay when he makes you miss in the pocket. It's a rare level. Didn't win the game with his arm tonight. The Philadelphia Eagles won because they didn't turn the ball over and because they kicked one less field goal than the Cowboys did. CeeDee Lamb won't have a performance like that ever again, most likely. You throw that ball to Jake Ferguson over the middle, he's probably in the end zone. He's catching it probably 3 times out of 5. That's a 60%, 70% ball for Jake Ferguson. The effort and the lunch pail mentality on defense is only going to continue to improve. Don't forget, we still got DeMarvion Overshown, who's coming at some point this season. He's waiting in the works. Don't forget, we've got extra ammunition. I'll be lobbying for it more and more. I made a post on Twitter kind of in that same regard. I hope that we are all if you still think that running back is more valuable or more of a pressing need to trade for, I get it. Be aggressive and go get a difference maker. Sure. But we saw it tonight. Javonte Williams is going to be plenty. Wait till Jadon Blue. If Jadon Blue takes that carry that Miles Sanders got hawked on, he's cribbing it. You ain't catching Jadon Blue. Okay? The personnel is fine, guys. If you still think running back is more important than defensive tackle, I got news for you. What happens if you go get one more guy that's got Kenny Clark, Oso Digizua, Solomon Thomas, pro level ability in the rushing department, helping anchor the middle of your defense? Not anchor, sorry, excuse me. That's a we don't want to use that A word. That's the wrong word with this philosophy here, this new coaching staff. Helping you attack with power, with explosive get off, and with violence. How much better are you? The answer to me is significantly. The second most important position in the sport. You guys know how I feel about that. I'll stand on that. I think one of the last things that I want to say that fumble, keep going back to it. Just wanted to make sure that we reemphasized the effort, the sellout, body on the line from the quarterback that everybody seems to hate and just, unwarranted finger pointing, bashing, gnashing of the teeth. Because failure resonates with the masses. And more people love to see the Cowboys fail than even despite having the biggest fan base, the biggest brand in the world, more people want to see them fail because of those reasons. It is what it is. Part of the job description. Okay, Dak can handle it. But he made a touchdown-saving tackle tonight. That was 22 personnel when Miles Sanders fumbled that ball. Hunter Lipke, Brevin Spanford, Jake Ferguson on the field alongside Miles Sanders. Ain't no receivers out there. Ain't nobody having a chance to catch up to whoever it was that picked that ball up. Dak doesn't make that tackle. Think about the dynamic, what we're looking at. When you have a defensive touchdown in an environment like that, when everybody's already counting you out, that's demoralizing. So, tip of the cap there for 4. One cool customer. As I always like to reiterate. Let me go through the timeline here real quick, make sure I'm not missing anything. Touched on that. I will say, here's one thing. On the fumble note, I think in a weird way, man, the way my head works, it's almost like, because that was right after the unnecessary roughness call on Reed Blankenship on that, I called it in real time, a hospital ball from Dak. He kind of left Fergie out to dry there. Probably like to have that one back. I don't know, but great. The ball was, it gave Jake a chance, but still, I think I didn't like that call. Reed Blankenship, man, there's only so much you can do as a defender. And the only other alternative in that specific circumstance, I get it, Jake was defenseless. And maybe he lunged a little bit more than he should have. But dude, that's happening so fast. It looks like they can make these adjustments, these impossible adjustments when they slow the game down. It's like, you're like, why didn't he pull up? Why did he throw his shoulder at his head? I promise you guys, it's almost impossible. Your perspective is so distorted from the time lapse, the slowing down of the instant replay, right? It's just not reality. It's alternate reality that you're perceiving what these guys are out here doing. Reed Blankenship did a fantastic job trying to he was in the right position. He was able to affect and alter Jake Ferguson enough to where he couldn't reel that in. The only other alternative to what he did was to stand there and watch him catch it. This is a guy doing his job. All right, so maybe that was just the football world leveling the playing field and just getting one back. Like that call probably shouldn't have happened. It's a fluke thing. I ain't trying to throw the Eagles a bone, man, but listen, I don't want those cheap dubs either. I want, in my head, and in Chris's head, sitting right here next to me, he's like, "Yeah, dude, I don't think that's not a flag to me." So who knows? That's just where my head went. But these allergies are kicking me, man. I'm sure y'all can hear that in my nose. Need to go get some sleep. But man, there's so much good stuff to take away from it. The offense is it's a well-oiled machine at this point. This is modern football that we're watching. It's really, really cool to see. Anyways, make sure y'all hit that like button for me, man. Shotty had them ready. You're right, Brandon. Let me go through the comments. I need to show y'all some love, man. I'm not gonna get out of here until I say something to y'all and make sure that everybody gets heard. You said you saw Toya getting washed out all night. I'll have to go back and watch that. I appreciate your greatness. I will. You know what? Got my pen right here. Check in on Jay. Remember, listen, that's what we talked about, right? The importance of the defensive tackle position, how tough it is. 7th round rookie. Temper expectations. Okay. Let him grow. Just like we had the discussion about Tyler Guyton and how we have to let him grow, let him become a pro. NFL football is in Jay Toya's blood. It may not manifest overnight. It may not manifest next week in 10 days. And it may not manifest at any point this season. But that's okay. 7th round rookie for a reason. Shorter arms. That's why he was docked. Otherwise, I think he was one of the best run stoppers in the sport in college football last year. It's a guy that's going to get it figured out. It's in his blood. And he's built for it. Literally, 340 pounds. He'll be fine. But once again, greatness. And I'm not pointing fingers at you at all. I'm just asking you to consider as I write this down, because it's an astute note, and I respect you saying that. That's one of the things that's why we're here, because we're all learning on the fly together, unpacking it. I'm going to write down greatness, and then watch Jay on the All 22 rewatch. Got that written down for you there. I'll check it out. I'm gonna see what I can see, and I'm gonna try to learn something in the process too. Check on Ezeraku. He got stonewalled a couple different occasions. I know why you're saying that, because I keyed in on him specifically, because I did say he's the most Micah-like with his rushing arsenal, his tool bag, and his twitch. But once again, I'll say it again. Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson are just that damn good. Definitely missed Overshown. I'm with you, Cam. I will say this, y'all. I believe firmly the Cowboys earned themselves. They earned some respect back from a large portion of fans and media tonight. I guarantee you that. So Brandon says, check on Easy. I'll do that for sure. I was already doing that, but I'll just go ahead and still write it down. Preston, you make a good point, man. Listen, that's what I tried to reiterate last night. I get it. I understood why the narrative, why the public was reacting the way that they were to this spread and to this game. Nobody gave the Cowboys a chance. When everybody agrees, that's when you should really pay attention. When the whole world thinks they're right about something, they never are. The road less traveled, that whole type of thing, right? Usually a red flag to dig a little bit deeper. That's what we try to do here. That's what I feel like I did, and I stand on everything I said. And guess what? It was right. 4-point difference, not 8.5. That number was always too big. This looked to me like not just a playoff team, Santiago. A competitive one. One that's going to be a tough out no matter what. No matter if we've got Trevon Diggs out there against 2 all-pro receivers, fresh off an injury where most people thought he wasn't going to play, if at all, at least until week 8. We got a first time this offseason, basically, game-like intensity, left tackle. Against the Vic Fangio defense, where pre-snap disguise is at a premium or at a maximum. Where disguise blitzes are at a maximum. Timely dial-ups. That dude was ready for the test. Dak Prescott, same thing. Fresh off of a 10-month absence from game-like intensity, man. Most difficult position to play in all sports. Cool customer. Dude hawks a loogie in his chest, and he's so confident, so cool, so composed. Smiles right in his face. Hey, man. I know y'all felt it. I know you did. I know you do. You're excited now about this team. You had your doubts. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I didn't. I sat here and told you. But I was so worried about our run defense, mostly as a result of personnel, not necessarily the coaching staff or the philosophy. I was so worried about our run defense that the night, and it's documented, go watch. The night Micah Parsons was traded, I said, holy bleep. We got Kenny Clark? Damn, we might have just leveled the playing field a little bit. For Thursday night specifically, we got ourselves a little bit of a chance. We might have a shot. We might have a shot. And damn it, we did. I think we outplayed them, all things considered. Still hate the fact that a team has to push their way to victory. That pisses me off so much. But hey, when you're the best in the world at something, lean into it, man. More power to you. It is what it is. Lando, after you watch the tape, you'll see the Solomon. Admittedly, bro. Listen. I'll tell you. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know. There's no way I can tell you right or wrong. Yes or no right now. I can't. But I just saw the flashes. And once again, just like I told Greatness, this is the best in the world at what they do. This team is designed, is crowned, is ringed for pushing people like Solomon Thomas back into the belly of their linebackers. That's what they do. And we held the rushing champ to fewer rushing yards than the damn quarterback. Ain't nobody gave us a chance. 8.5 point spread, and people saying that's not enough. I'm yelling not at you, but at the entire off season, the work that I put in, studying and trying to convey to you guys the truth about what's happening. You know what we just watched? We just watched the NFC Championship preview from the NFC East for the second year in a row. Let me back up off this mic if I'm yelling. Except this time, the Washington football team ain't going to be participating in it. That's how I feel. Call it Kool-Aid if you want. Call it hyperbole. And I struggle with this so much, y'all. And y'all tell me if I'm wrong, or if my feelings, if my hesitation to even say this is warranted. But some of you know, maybe quietly, y'all are paying attention to what I do. And you see me stick my neck out. And I'll give you a couple examples just to prove to validate what I'm saying here. I promise you, I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back. Hand on the Bible. Lord knows. Okay? When I say something, I believe it. Offensive line at 12. Back in April. Me, Vach, and Lou against the world. Tea leaves, breadcrumbs, and below the surface objective analysis. This team is not physically ready yet to be talking about running back in round one, to be talking about receiver in round one. And it's not that they didn't deserve or garner the discussion to be in the conversation if that's truly the best player that they evaluated. But it's just that you haven't given yourself the right to eliminate O-line yet. You ain't good enough yet. You ain't nasty enough yet up front to say that's out of the question. Just because you were mad that Tyler Guyton didn't become the Hall of Fame replacement level Tyron Smith type of dude that you wanted him to be 5 years into playing the damn sport, much less 1 year playing left tackle full time. You're jaded. I got Deuce Vaughn wrong. But you know what else I told Chris tonight, driving around in the golf cart, waiting on this game to start back up? Deuce Vaughn is still on this roster. He's on the 46 if Kevontae Turpin doesn't exist. I'll tell you that right now. He just so happened to not be the most trustworthy candidate in pass pro, much like Jaden Blue was. That's why he was inactive tonight. Deuce Vaughn was maybe on the edge of being the second best ball carrier. I still believe that. But when you're so small that there's no other place besides being the return man for you on special teams, what value do you bring to the table? And for Deuce Vaughn, because of Kevontae Turpin and the elite level playmaker that he is, the more well-rounded offensive contributor that he is becoming because of his mastery of the playbook, Deuce Vaughn had to go. I got that one wrong. I thought for sure he was going to be on this roster. I missed some. I told y'all, I sat here and looked y'all dead in the eye like I'm doing right now, and I said, Micah Parsons ain't getting traded. Not going to happen. You don't trade a player like that. You don't. But in the same breath, you know why? They did. And a big part of it is because me and you, us, same discussion we had with O-line at 12. We were right. They ain't good enough in the middle of their defense. And if they want to prove me right again, I'm 2 for 2. I've given y'all 2 examples. I'm going to give you another one in a second. But if they want to make us smart one more time, and if they want to validate what I just said boldly about this potentially being an NFC Championship matchup here, preview, I think they still got to go get one more D-tackle. If anybody's asking me. Watch out for the Vikings this year, y'all. J.J. McCarthy, first-year starter at quarterback. What did they do? They just sat there and watched Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, $100 million man, Moro Ojimo, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox before that, San Francisco, one of the other crown jewels of the NFC, Javon Kinlaw, Javon Hargrave also alongside Fletcher Cox prior to this recent Super Bowl group that they had. Okay. Just go Google what the Vikings did to the middle of their defense this offseason. And just watch. Watch what they do. The league is evolving. Back in favor of physicality. Okay, my discussion with Voch Lombardi, that was the entire premise. That's what we focused on. Because it was playing off of my thought process alongside Lou Takes, alongside Voch, of why it's so important to continue addressing the front five, the defensive interior. Because more teams will continue to more frequently take the Eagles' approach, the Ravens' approach, the Packers' approach, the Bills' approach if they have to. Against the Cowboys, they can. 49 carries, 300 yards, pull the e-brake and halfway through the third quarter and still win by 30. Josh Allen completes 7 passes. I don't know if I need to continue beating that dead horse, y'all. I'm just trying to make it make sense. We got James Houston right. We got Perion Winfrey right. We got Tyler Guyton right. And it's not because I'm smarter than anybody. I'm not a great X's and O's guy yet. I'm still learning. But I feel like I have a really, really deeply rooted, solid understanding of what wins in this sport. And also I have a really, really good, I feel like it's one of my gifts from above, man. Good Lord bless me with the ability to be able to read people and have that understanding, that relationship with and respect for psychology. So much of this sport right now that we all are here for, this community of people, what we're so passionate about, what we love, what we all just, I mean, dude, you guys have given me a job to talk about football that's going to feed my family. So much of it we cannot physically see. The human eye is not capable of seeing because it's happening between the ears, the human element of sport. It's not talked about enough. But to me, I feel like the Eagles probably feel like they got away with one tonight. And I think that's probably what Nick Sirianni walked up and whispered in Dak's ear when he sprinted over there to say a few words to him. I would love to know what he said. It's 2 really good football teams. Right there, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you're talking about CJ Okoye. He's back on the practice squad, I believe. I will say this: I'm not here to hate on anybody, but I see the comment. I will address it. Key moment in the game. I'll go back and rewatch. I'm gonna make a note right now from Cam. Appreciate you, Cam, for reminding me. I know there's countless other things that I wanted to talk about that I forgot, but that's okay. It's all good. I don't remember the exact situation, but I remember standing there looking at Chris when the play happened. It was a pivotal moment. One of the final 2 drives. I don't remember like I said, I don't remember which one it was. But it looked to me as if Jalen Tolbert gave up on a play prematurely. And the man that he could have and should have blocked and that he was previously responsible for blocking made the play. and prevented whoever the ball carrier was. I want to say it was Javonte Williams from capturing the first down, moving the chains, giving the Cowboys a better chance. You're going to put 7 up on the board. They will review that. Brian Schottenheimer will review that. That will be addressed. I promise you that will be addressed. What did Brian Schottenheimer say, guys? In the press conference. You know, one of the fastest ways that you're going to find out about how physical a football team is to watch the smallest guys on the field, your skill position players. Watch how physical they play, and you will know. You will know. I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch CeeDee Lamb in run support, run blocking. I'll go back and I'll watch Kevontae Turpin. You saw Devontae Smith walling off. I think it was Kyer Elam on one of those big plays that sprung for a big gain up the left side. And whoever, I think it was John Mechie, absolutely just decleating somebody. Whoever was in pursuit. Perfectly legal block, by the way. Those 5 to 7 yard runs become 10 to 40 yard runs or house calls at some point when Jadon Blue inevitably works his way into the mix. When your receivers, your perimeter players, your skill position guys take pride in bringing the same level of nasty that the big boys are supposed to pride themselves on. That culture of competition is going to continue to manifest. It's going to continue to validate itself. It's not just talk anymore. And now we have a full 4 quarters against the champs to back that up. I think I've said enough, and I need to get some sleep. Already almost 1. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. We got is that what it was? Okay. So, yeah, you guys feel me? The screen to Turpin. Okay. There we go. Thank you. Preston, appreciate you, brother. Was that the last drive of the game? No block, no rock is right. I think it was the last drive of the game. That's exactly what it was. You're right. Appreciate you, Cam. Thank you for that, bro. You guys are the best, man. If y'all, last thing, let me just do this because I just need to wrap it up. I know that I'll just continue seeing things that I need to touch on, and I'll stay up well beyond what I should. And I'm just going to do myself a favor, sleep on it, regroup, and get back on it tomorrow. Support the channel a couple different ways. Sticker on the bottom right there. That's one of them. It's all greatly appreciated. If you want to circumvent and bypass YouTube, taking 30% of whatever you donate via the super chat feature, that's one way to do that. But if nothing else, at the absolute very least, man, the best and the fastest way to support me and just to keep this show free is to do your part and just simply tap one button. Assuming that you're already subscribed, which actually most of you aren't, according to my analytics. just hit the like button for me. That's it. That's all you got to do. And anything above and beyond that is very much appreciated. But Venmo and Cash App right there on the bottom for you. If you guys want to support me that way, greatly appreciate it, man. Every dollar, every penny goes a long way. Trust me. But either way, so long as you guys show the support, tap the button for me. That's it. That's all I need from you. We'll continue pushing and making waves. Greatness, dude. And I feel like I let you guys down in a lot of ways. I'm still working on improvements behind the scenes. This wall is not complete here, y'all. I'm going to have, I actually have some of the equipment to get it done. I just, priorities, dude. All my free time gets devoted to just producing. I never am eager to bypass the opportunity to bring something that I feel needs to be brought to y'all, and instead, like, do some handyman work. I'm not even a handyman by any means, but like, I don't want to be putting my room together when I could just be talking ball with you guys. Like, it's just, it is what it is. But it's there are more improvements constantly coming, and your support, it got me this. It got me the soundboard. It upgraded the microphone. Got this computer about 2.5 years ago. That really wasn't, that was kind of out of my own pocket, but still, it was necessary upgrade, right? So everything, I'm constantly, the Osmo was another one. This thing goes everywhere with me. If I got to record, I don't have to be in the studio to make sure I bring you guys high quality content. 4K right here. Internal gimbal stabilization, shoot vertical or horizontal. You guys help with this. That's where the money is. It's not just money to me. It's like, it's constant improvements, right? I'm putting it back into the business, just to continue making this better. So I appreciate the words, what you just said, man. That Cam, greatness, everybody. It's there is no me without you. So just know that I appreciate every single minute of your time and every single word of support. It's incredible. Last Saturday in Columbus, I was overwhelmed with love, dude, because Texas football took a back seat. Not because I pressed pause on my investment into the program and the coverage of that. It's just the NFL, by nature, it's a round the clock sport, because you got regular season straight into postseason straight into draft coverage straight into free agency, and then free agency straight into training camp. And then it's like you're on the countdown. So it's just, the NFL is a 12-month out of the year product. And so I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, third baby almost here. Do I really have the time? Like, do I take care of my own personal health and wellness, give my family everything that they need, the time, my presence, like being literally physically and mentally present with them every single second I get, because time flies. Can I afford to cover both of these teams? And being in Columbus, man, when like I said, Texas took a back seat for most of the offseason just because of the work we were doing here with the Cowboys. And it was just like a sign. It was a gift from above. Like God wanted me to be there that day on my birthday, Texas, Ohio State. And it was just validation that I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and that I need to continue pushing, doing what I'm currently doing. The love and support from people just like y'all. Greatness, Cam, everybody. Joey, same thing. Coming up to me, and I lost count, dude. I was just, my wife was brought to tears, because it wasn't just fans coming up and thanking me and hugging me and asking for pictures and just giving me a high five and just having just discussion, like passionate discussion, just like we're doing right now, the face-to-face. It's the best part about my job. Best part is meeting y'all, and especially in person when I least expect it. But then when we're standing there after the game ends, waiting for some of the players to, just a congregation of family and and friends, basically, of all the team. Coming out of the locker room, grabbing their post-game meal and just saying what's up to their family before they hop back on the bus to the plane and then plane back home. But we got parents of players walking up to me and thanking me, shaking my hand, looking me in the eye, and being in borderline tears, bringing my wife to tears, and then me tearing up, seeing my wife about to cry because she's like, because it's a lot, man. Like we make sacrifices. I sacrifice time away from them, and she sacrifices a lot of her free time to entertain the kids while I got to step away for a minute to come and talk about something, just to continue pushing, you know? But it was that validation, a parent thanking me for standing up for their son when nobody else otherwise would. That's what it's about. Doing right by the fan base. Giving you guys the sports below the surface truth for the true fan. Because if nobody else will, I will. And we'll get some wrong. We'll get Deuce Vaughn and Micah Parsons wrong. But guess what? We'll be right about Tyler Booker or just O-line in general. We'll be right about Tyler Guyton. Reading and dissecting his demeanor, his psychology, the conviction in his voice and in his eye when he says, I got to be better. I'm becoming a pro. And, anyway, I love you guys. Seriously, I thank every single one of you for being in here. I hopped in. I'm like, let me just rap for 20 minutes, just give my initial passionate takeaways. I want to talk about Jalen and Dak, that whole spitting session. Like, here we are. Because I know right now, Vach, Jeff Kavanaugh, Jesse Holly, that's a freaking, the Avengers are assembled, boys, behind the scenes. That's what I'm up against. And I've had the pleasure of working with a couple of them, actually, of those three. But and then Brian Broaddus is doing post game somewhere. Who else? I saw Kieran, my boy Kieran, just spreading his wings and flying, paving the way for people like me. Came out the mud, came from nothing, self-made man, grinded his butt off. He's mainstream media, literally working with, and I know y'all are gonna you're gonna throw open your mouth a little bit when I say it, but with Shady McCoy and the Longhorn slipping my mind, but the guys from Speak on Fox Sports or whatever that got canceled. Kieran is now working with Acho. There it is, Emmanuel Acho and Shady on a post game, like a national product. And countless other people that I'm probably forgetting. I bet you Foots did some sort of post game. I bet you Knicks is on a live space right now. Law Nation is live, probably as we speak. Maybe alongside Boss Cowboy and Lou Takes. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. But about 2 years ago, when I really started taking this seriously, I'd be lucky if I had 4 people hanging in here with me post game. So just know that the 30 some odd of you that are in here, and maybe a couple hundred more that'll watch this tomorrow, maybe 1,000. I don't take a single second of your time for granted. This stuff matters to me. It's not a hobby. And I hope that I continue to prove to you that is the case with time. That's it. This is going to be a fun one, boys, this season. Boys and girls. What we witnessed tonight wasn't a one-off, wasn't a fluke. It wasn't the Eagles pissing themselves and letting the Cowboys stay in it. I trust my eye. I trust my evaluation, and I know that you guys feel the same thing. I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. I know what I just saw. Running pass game marriage, motion and misdirection, modern elements, easy buttons of offense, cerebral, MVP caliber quarterback making plays to two big time dynamite dynamic receivers, arguably the best duo in the league. That's a hot take right now, but it won't be in a few weeks. Just wait. Jadon Blue, arguably the most explosive. Vontae Turpin notwithstanding. In the offense, still not even in the mix yet. That's an added element. Tyler Booker still doesn't even really understand communication fully. Like, he's not in sync. That group, as well as they played, as admirably as they played, as tough as they played tonight, the front five, they are still not playing as one. But that will come soon. You always learn more lessons in the losses. All right? Love you guys. Remember, prayer changes things and the war is already won. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Believe that.